Welcome, my loves, Knowledge Butterfly. I haven't done a video in a little bit. I told y'all I've been, doing a lot of studying, and not just studying. I actually have been, um, just diving deep into myself and in my soul to truly work on, um, truly work on knowing my true self, which is your soul. Your soul is the only thing that's real. So, um, yeah, so I definitely have been doing that. My meditation, my goodness, my meditation has elevated. Like, it's really, really, it's really phenomenal how quickly once I stopped recording and I started to focus more within, how quickly I just like my meditation elevated to the point where now when I meditate, I first off I heat up, like I can feel the kundalini energy, that Shakti, that Kundalini Shakti energy. I can feel it heating up at the base, where my root chakra is and my sacral chakra. And one time my spine was so like hot, and I was leaned up against the pillow. When I touched the pillow, all I felt was heat coming from it. It was crazy. I hear sounds like, like a whistling sound, and, just hearing my chakras moving, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm definitely seeing growth in it. And I'll actually, do a video and just talk about some things that I've grown in, since I have been continuing on my spiritual journey, because that's really what it's all about. The spiritual journey is a journey of self. Only you can do it. Only you can, walk that walk. No one else can walk it with you. People can help you and tell you their experiences and give you information, like, how since I've been on my spiritual journey, I started out, I think Dr. Delbert Blair was one of the first ones. And then, um, I've listened to numerous people, like people, I've gained something from everybody. RFG, for a moment, he taught me a lot about astrology, um, um, universal frequencies, young pharaoh. And lately it's been a lot of Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic, because they drop a lot of fucking knowledge. So what I'm starting to learn is that, uh, actually, I'll just go ahead and make this video about my growth and experiences. I'm going into it. What I've gained and learned from um, listening to Brother Panic's lectures and Bobby Hammett's lectures is a lot of the information going back to the melanin and the ancient culture, as well as a lot of the occult and metaphysical stuff, which is very important, to me, that the whole science, the alchemy, because um, it really showed me how your spiritual journey really is alchemical. It um, really is you going from a human to a god to a titan. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like when you are in your lower state, of course, you're in your human state. You're living in your lower three chakras, and most people are living in their root chakra. But you're living in your lower three chakras, which are your karmic chakras. Those are the chakras where you brought over old shit that you need to let go of, because that's that mundane bullshit where you're holding on to things that do not serve your soul, because you're still caught up basically in human existence. And really the balance is not finding a balance between the the human and the soul. It is finding the balance in your yin and your yang. And it's also, excuse me, it's also being authentically yourself, because being authentically yourself is being your soul, your true essence, your childlike nature. So you are still gonna do grown up shit, because like I always say, you want to grow up to glow up. which is basically reach your full illumination, and be the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? Be in your illuminated state, meaning that your soul is vibrating, your soul is what's shining through, and all people see is your light, and it blinds them, and so everybody can approach the light. You know what I'm saying? However, you will have people that are attracted to your light like a moth to a flame. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it's being that light. So when you first, like when I first started, I could tell people could, like, my light was, flickering. People could see my light and everything, especially being in Jamaica. I met some really cool people, and I met some people who just really wanted to be around me to like learn, because it's a lot of dead people. It's a lot of people who are not what people like to say woke, but they're literally dead, meaning that their soul is asleep. They have no fucking idea what's going on, and they're living in the illusion. That is the falseness of the what we think is reality and things like that. So yeah, so that the human state, like I was saying, is where most people are dwelling. They're dwelling in the lower chakras, the karmic chakras. So that's why they are subject to the law of cause and effect, the law of polarity, and the law of gender. And the reason why I bring it up, because even though here we have to take either a female form or a male form, you still are not quote unquote subject to the law of gender when you reach your Titan status, meaning that means that you accept the masculine energy and the feminine energy in you. That's what I mean by gender. I mean the energy that you bring out. So you are comfortable in both your masculine and your feminine. So you've mastered the symbol that has the divider between the dark and the darkness and the light, and then the darkness has the light, the circle in it, which is white, which represents the light, and then the white has the black dot, which represents the darkness. So you truly realize that you are both things, and you found a balance in them. So you're comfortable in your femininity, and you're able to be, a female on this plane and represent that divine feminine energy. However, you don't, push away your divine masculine energy, because that is a part of you, and that is a part of your soul. That is who you are. You are androgynous in nature when it comes to your soul. And that's getting to the Titan status. But anyways, so when you reach your God level, that's when you are dwelling in your heart. You know how they show Jesus, and Jesus with his hand over his heart. Not just Jesus. If you look at Vadu, I hope I pronounced that wrong, because I know it's not voodoo. It's Vado or Vado. You look at some of the lawas, or the gods, that they recognize, and you'll see one of them, I think, is called Azil, Azil or Azlili or something like that, and she is also pointing towards her heart, or her heart chakra. And so to me, when you start when you reach your heart chakra, and you're more vibrating on that level of your heart chakra, which is that balance between your lower chakras and your higher chakras, then you're reaching a God state. And that's where a state where you can basically look at the worlds, and you can really not really judge anybody. That means that if somebody eats meat, you don't judge them for eating meat. If somebody if somebody does something that's quote unquote morally wrong, you don't judge them for it. On a human level, you get why, people, why it can be seen as quote unquote bad, or whatever. But from a God level, you don't judge that person, because you get the fact that they are literally in the illusion, and they are caught up on human shit. So they're making human mistakes and human decisions, human choices. Um, and then when you reach your Titan level, which is where I'm working towards, is the level where you are really allowing your subconscious mind to like be the director, or your soul to be the director of this whole journey. And you're no longer having to really deal with having to remind yourself that you are the God. And and you start seeing things manifest in the physical. That means you're able to create the physical reality that you want, because you truly get that this is an illusion. So since it's an illusion, you can have whatever you want. Since as in Hindu, we call it the Maya. um and Maya is exactly that. It is the perception. It's the perception with these two eyes, because these two eyes are the what lies to us, that this shit is real. And lately I have been, at nighttime, like, staring out into the sky. I used to do it all the time, but stare at the stars. But now, when I look up at the stars or whatever, it like it's really hard to explain, but it kind of flickers. So what I was originally seeing with my two eyes, the trees don't look the same. So how the trees, you can see how a lot of leaves have fell off because it's the fall or whatever here in Atlanta. When I actually look at the star, which actually what I'm looking at, which I saw a video of Bobby Hemmett, and he was talking about, if you look at the Hindu god Vishnu, and he's twirling around this wheel, and I think it's called I'll have to look it up, or I might put it in here, because the pronunciation, I'm not sure how to say it right now, but it's like the Sudarshan Chakra, something like that. But that actually represents your soul, like your soul that is not here on this physical plane, because we have to remember, because I've been studying Kabbalah as well, that there is a tree of life, which are the Sephiras, and there is the Caliph, and the Caliph is what they call the shells. And that's the dark side of the tree. So the tree of life is the light side of the tree, which represents this illusion, the Maya. And then the back side, the darkness, is where the light comes from, is where the light emanates from. So I just got a notification that somebody mentioned me on something. I'll see it later. But yeah, so the Caliph is the actual real shit, is really where all of our souls are truly at home. And this is just a small aspect of us that is, caught up in this physical shit. So when we go to sleep and we dream, which is our subconscious mind now taking over, because our conscious mind is sleeping, thank goodness. So our subconscious mind is able to like show us, or basically send us messages, which is really like our sleeping giant, our soul, sending us messages and telling us, things that we were probably not probably we were questioning during the day. And I'm actually going, why am I talking about this right now? Not sure, because I was talking about the wheel. But anywho's, let me get back to the wheel, because I'll get on a whole nother subject. I can talk about that on another video. But I was staring up because Bobby Hemmett, I was so happy that he brought that up, because probably like fucking 2000, not probably, back in 2016, when I first woke up, or I began my journey, I started seeing this. It looked like a pink star in the sky, but it looked bigger than the star. It looked like a fucking spaceship. It really did. I was like, what is this spaceship? And then it was following me all over the place. And I thought, I was like, am I fucking crazy? I know this is following me. I know it's moving. It's not like a star. It's literally moving when I move. And found a video like a couple of days ago, maybe like maybe Monday, Sunday or Monday. And Bobby Hemmett was talking about that what looked like a spaceship is actually your soul. That's your soul looking over you and protecting and guiding you. You know what I'm saying? So that's your higher self. And so like I was like staring and looking out at that, and I was like, this shit makes so much sense when he was explaining it and breaking it down. But anywho's, I tell you, it's been a while since I did a video, so let me just, you know, bring it back to focus. As I was staring out the window, I saw my soul, or wheel, or whatever you want to call it. And I was just staring and looking out at it. And so when my first eye kicked in and the two eyes were no longer, the illusion wasn't there, it started flickering. Like, and it got dark, and it just kept getting darker and darker and darker until it was complete darkness. Like, outdoors and all around me, there was nothing but darkness. And I almost like freaked the fuck out, because I was like, oh my gosh, like everything is becoming dark. And I could see like a little bit of not like on the TV when you see like the black and white fuzz, but it was like little bit of flickers of a little bit of flickers of color. So it's kind of like when you really start getting into your meditation and your first eye, you start seeing all these colors, and it's almost like fireworks, going off in your first eye. So you see yellows, purples, reds, and all kind of things. That's what it started looking like. So it was literally like I was going in a tunnel of darkness, but I was still sitting here on the bed. That shit is so real, and it can be super duper scary. So those are just some things that I've been experiencing since I haven't really been recording videos. I have been reading a lot. I currently am reading, I finished the book, what was the name of the book? Shit. I actually can tell you, because I still have all this shit up. But I'm still reading the Chicken Kabbalah. I'm reading a book on the Caliph, the Magician. That's the book I finished. But that is a book that you go back and read, because the Magician actually deals with visualization, and it deals with the alchemy, like the magic of you creating a space, a physical space, is what he talks about. But also it could become a mental space, so it becomes your psychology. So you're visualizing and creating, the four directions, east, south, west, and north, and you're relating that to the tarot cards, and you're relating that to the planets and all kind of shit I won't get into, which also ties into Kabbalah. Like I said, I'm reading the Chicken Kabbalah, and I'm also reading about the Kabbalah, the Caliph, and the book is called the Kabbalah, the Caliph, and something else. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Here it is. Kabbalah, Caliph, and Goetic Magic. That's by Thomas Carlson. And The Magician is by Philip Cooper. The Magician is no longer in print. I actually found it on this site. And I'm also reading Sexual Alchemy. I haven't read that one in a minute, because listen, it's so many books that Bobby Hemmett will give you, as well as Brother Panic, books that help you and aid you. Vadu Visions, An Encounter with Divine Mystery by Sally Ann Glassman. I just started reading that. And she's a Jewish lady who actually was drawn to Vadu and New Orleans and Haiti. And she was actually initiated as a Mambo in Haiti. And she's a white lady. She's Jewish and Ukrainian. And so I've just been reading some different things, but definitely the one about by Thomas Carlson, the Kabbalah, the Caliph, and Goetic Magic. That one's very interesting. That it's a website called archive.org, archive.org. And you can find a lot of books for free on here. A lot of people scan pages on here. And so you can You can read those books. Some of the books are on wait list, so you have to get on a wait list, because I'm waitlisted for like 3 or 4 books, which it don't matter, because shit, there's literally like 4 books that I'm bouncing back in between, because once I feel like, okay, I'm not really focused on this particular book, let me jump to another one. And it actually works out that I do that, because I read something that ties into something that I read in the previous book, so it actually winds up working out. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. I did spend some time with my father, and stayed with him for the most of the month of November. And I actually had meat. I had turkey, and I had some tuna. I make really good tuna, by the way. And I had some tuna, and I hadn't had any type of meat since May of 2017. And honestly, the spirit was telling me to eat it. And the reason why I know now why the spirit was telling me to eat it is because um, it was to keep me from allowing myself, or allowing the ego to take over my spirituality and my true self, because the ego likes to identify with something, because that's where it feels comfortable. But when you are working on getting out of the ego and delving into the unknown, which is the darkness, you can't deal with identity. That's why, literally, like when the room and everything start becoming dark, and even though I knew I was sitting in the room, the it was a scary thing, for the ego. It really was, and it's a scary thing to dive into the quote unquote unknown, which we actually come from darkness, because we were in our mom's womb and it was dark. We just don't recall that, as a baby. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I feel like I'm rambling on, because this video was actually going to be about something else, but I just decided to give a quick update about what I've been doing. But yeah, the meditation has been going really, really good. It doesn't take me any time to get into the zone. The biggest thing is breathing, because if you start breathing properly, it actually helps you cut off the thought. So, and breathing properly just means that you're breathing through your nose. So I inhale through my nose, I exhale through my nose. And when I inhale, I'm filling up my belly. And the reason why that's important is because you're filling up your sacral, where your sacral chakra is located, and also where your life force energy is located. Okay, and your life force energy is located in your sacral chakra, near that area. So that's why it's important that you're doing that. Also, when you're breathing in that manner and you're allowing the air to go into your abdomen, you're also basically fanning the flames of the fire. So you're starting a fire in your belly, which is the Kundalini Shakti. So you're awakening up your serpent. And when you start doing that, then you can start with the visualizations and those types of things. Like, I found myself not necessarily having to do too much visualization, but I'm working on my visualization techniques, because I know that imagination and visualization is so important when it comes to manifesting what you want here. Because remember that this is all an illusion, for real, for real. This is what we are creating. So if you don't like what you see, that means that you have not perfected your craft yet. You know what I'm saying? And we are supposed to be the magicians. We're supposed to be the alchemists, the occultists. So yes, so that's what I've been diving into. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing with myself, working on that. But yeah, yeah, just working on my meditation. And like I said, it takes no time. Where I used to sit there 20-30 minutes sometimes and be like, why the fuck am I not in the zone? And it was because of the thoughts. So another thing that helped me with calming my thoughts down was observing my thoughts. And I'm still working on observing my thoughts, like literally not getting mad that I'm having the thoughts or still having thoughts, but observing the thoughts and allowing them to pass. Somebody made an analogy that it's like letting a child have a temper tantrum or get it out, basically get it out so that they can move on. When they see you not paying attention, you don't really give a fuck, you know what I'm saying, what they're doing, type of thing, because they're doing it for attention. And that's literally what you have to do to your ego. Another thing I want to say about the reading, because I know that gets back into the left brain and you're working on the right brain, but it's everything is still a balance, because even though the reason why I felt such a need beforehand to really be focused on the right brain and I didn't do as much reading as I've been doing now is because I had been so caught up in left brain thinking that I felt that me giving more time to the right brain would actually be beneficial for me to feed the right brain more. So now I'm working with the reading, but at the same time, while I'm reading, still dealing with the imagination and visualizing the things that I'm reading, and stopping and taking a moment to think, to literally like imagine what I just read. That way I'm working both sides of my brain. And so that's really the best way to do it. But yeah, guys, that's what's been going on with me. Like I said, I spent some time with my father, and if anybody has seen me from the beginning, know that I was dealing with the human mundane shit of with my family and everything. And you know how when you first start waking up anyway, you feel like you need to distance yourself a lot of times from the people you've been closest to, especially when they are really still caught up in illusion, and it's really difficult for them to live in quote unquote truth. Um, so you feel a need to back away from it in order to stay on course, because you really starting to see things for what they really are, and you want to stay in that zone. So for me to like go back to my father's house and spend that time with him, and that was me proving showing proof of what I was saying, that I had let that go. I actually was there in his presence and be able to say, you know what, I have let that go. And also did some purging and cleaning in his house, because I realized wherever I go, I always wind up cleaning out the physical, because that can affect your mental. Because everybody, especially when they are still dead people don't clean like people who are living. And that is the truth, because when you are living, you really live that shit where cleanliness basically is next to godliness. You start living that shit because you start operating in your godhood. And so that's literally where I've been maintaining myself, like in my godhood. Like I said, I did eat meat, but I know all is mental, all is mind. That's the first law of Tahuti. So I was like, shit, don't defeat yourself. And that's when I actually start having breakthroughs in my meditation. For real. That's literally when I really start. When after I ate the tuna, I was meditating, and it was taking me no time to get there. So and I'm not saying that I'm just gonna be eating meat every day. If I want to, I'll do it. But I literally go by when the spirit tells me I should eat certain things, because it's telling me that for a reason. And it's the ego that wants to fight it, because the ego wants to say, but no, I'm a vegan. No, nigga. No, nigga, you are what you are. I am who I am, bitch. I am who I am. And you are actually non-existent. You know what I'm saying? You only exist on this plane, ego. So I have to, bring it back to size. So, yeah, that's been pretty much my thing over almost the last month. So like I said, I've grown significantly in that. I actually got an elephant, which is a representative of the energy of Ganesh or Ganesha, which is an Indian deity, or a deity, that represents, because if anybody's familiar with elephants, they represent good luck and wealth and fortune and those things. And I was talking about how in one of my older videos, not too long ago, how we were going from Jupiter being in Scorpio to Jupiter being in Sagittarius, and Jupiter is about expansion. And I actually relate Ganesha to Jupiter, and the spirit had been telling me through really before I got this, because when I first came to this place that I'm staying at now, she has a picture of Ganesha because she had visited an Asian country. And then she also has a elephant banner. It's really made out of as a cloth that somebody painted on of an elephant, and I talked about that in another video. And I actually shot a video, which you can see it in the background. And so it was the signs of the spirit telling me I needed to get me one. So on Tuesday, I actually picked up one, and I'm not gonna move it because when I tell you this thing be moving on its own, I had it turned facing towards me, then it turned to the right, and now it's more straight. You know, like, and I'm not playing. The motherfucker's moving, but here it is right here. And you can see I have a sunstone and I have black tourmaline as well sitting there. But yeah, that's my representative of Ganesha. And I actually followed Brother Panic's recipe or recommendation of what is it? Doing a curry bath for the Ganesha when I first got it. So I bathed it in curry that day, and then I set it here, and I'm telling you, it's been moving on its own. People can call it crazy. I don't really give a fuck. It's been moving on its own without me touching it, because I literally placed it over here by the bed because I wanted it close to me. And yeah, it's been doing this thing ever since. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video on this note, because now I feel like I'm rambling on. I just went ahead and used this video to give you guys an update. And I know I didn't send you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance. And you know, just much love and respect to y'all niggas, you know. Peace.